Yorana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope I'm trying to work out when this video will be out, but I hope by the time this video comes out, we've actually been given a release date for FM20. It's currently the 4th of October. No idea what the release date is. Don't know when the beta is going to be. There's a trickle of features. I think some of them probably aren't really features. They're just very minor changes that are being drip fed to us, to keep us in a frenzy. But hopefully, you guys in the future, compared to where I am, will have the date and you'll know what you're doing and it'll be all grand. Whereas I've got to hold on, consider booking my leave a little late to try and get some extra FM in. But never mind that, we're going to focus on what we've got in this episode. We'll just play the one match in this one, because mainly I want to show you what's changed. So I think in the last episode, because I've just had the week from hell at work, so it's been a week since I recorded anything, other than the Dictate the Game podcast, obviously, which you should go and listen to. I think in the last episode we finished the Atoll Championship, and we were managing the Austral Islands, and we won. So that was another trophy for the cabinet, a bit of glory for the Austral Islands, where there were 2 humpbacks of base, so a lot of our former players got some glory there, bit of silverware. You can tick that one off the list. And then when the tournament finished, Tahiti Societies sacked their manager because they had underperformed. They were the favourites. And that's kind of the reason why I have the Atoll Championship in. First of all, it's good to have the islands play against each other to get a bit more international football in, kind of bragging rights, but also because the reputations and expectations of these teams are so small. It's like with San Marino, you can wait 20-25 years in the game for the manager to get sacked because the expectation is that everyone's going to absolutely pump them every time they play them. So it's very difficult to underperform. Whereas with having this Atoll Championship there, and it's worth barely anything reputation-wise, but there's enough that it's a competition the boards, or the FAs I should say, take seriously. So it has a little bit of an effect on job satisfaction. So they got rid of the Tahiti Societies manager. It keeps things moving along. So I had a look at what's going on with Tahiti. Can't remember if I've ever actually mentioned this, but Tahiti, you look at their schedule. Oh yeah, so they sacked him. I've got the job. Spoiler. But we've got that job there. We took it on. We were favourites for it at the moment we applied for it. We left the Austral Islands. We didn't, get kind of bought out or anything like that. We left. Actually, we should have done it the other way around, so got a bit of a payoff. But if we look at the schedule for Tahiti Societies, in the World Cup qualifying section, they finished top. New Zealand, look at this group, Marquesas and Tahiti, almost. Both of them were almost through joint on points, goal difference. It must come down to the balance of the results against New Zealand. Look at them, 2 points out of 4 games. Terrible. Then over in the other group, got Tuamotun, Islands, and Vanuatu, who are obviously real, just like New Zealand are. And so Tahiti and Tuamotun are playing each other in the final for the World Cup qualifier. Which means, just want to look at the schedules to make sure there are no surprises there. Which I think means it's a 2-legged thing, so we'll do that in one episode. But that's it. And then I think it means for the World Cup, see if anyone else has qualified yet, we either go into the next round of qualifiers, so you already got a few teams who already qualified here. So I think there was a version of the World Cup. I wonder if it was the Qatar one or I can't remember if it's one afterwards where they've expanded it. But Tahiti won this World Cup playoff or qualifying final, and got in. In previous years, I think what happened is they got put into like a playoff pot because there's only half an international space available for Oceania, so they've got to play for that space against people from the Middle East or Central America usually. I remember Marquesas got to that stage earlier on in their save and they got beaten by Uruguay. Was it Marquesas or was it Bass Islands? But it's someone, they got beaten by Uruguay. But that seemed to disappear for the last World Cup and Tahiti just got straight through, so I wonder if there's a change to the World Cup format. So we could beat Tuamotun and get to the World Cup, and that's what we're going to aim for, because obviously FM20 is coming up soon. And I don't mind playing this sort of above and beyond when FM20 comes out, because there'll be the beta and I'll do a little beta save and things like that. But I want to get to a natural endpoint with this. We've been playing quite a few seasons. It's 2029. It'll be probably by the time FM20 comes out, it'll be 2030 on our game. We've got kind of our money's worth out of this database alone, never mind the bits I've played. And it'd be interesting to get to a point where it feels a bit natural. So if we get to the World Cup, we'll play in the World Cup. And then we'll finish there. If we get knocked out of the World Cup, then it might be a case of us playing to the end of the season, seeing if anything comes up, and then maybe calling time on it. Then, depending on how well the season's going as well, depending whether we can get into the sort of title race at all. So I think the end is, nigh. It's upon us, but it'll be interesting. So now I've talked your ear off about that. Yeah. So I've literally just taken the job. This has just happened, and I think today we've got a Premiership match. We'll play this match and I'll chat a little bit more. We've not got long until we have to announce the squad, which is interesting. Everyone seems to want Kaiser. Against Tetero got promoted. Everyone's back now from international duties. Let's get Spearling in there. Kerr on the bench. Lamb. Really put Calistine in there as well, I think, but we'll see. We've got Kapu, Sabua. Yeah, let's put on there as well. Maggie swapped for him. Do we have a striker in there? We've got Keith. Let's put a better striker on in Wallace. So that's Kaiser Moreau starting. I'm going to start them because in our last domestic match, which was the cup match here, we won 4-1. And then before that, we played Taha. We won 3-1. It's going well. Don't need to see the match report for that. See the goal scorers. So Michael Wallace, Jean-Baptiste and Kalai. So Jean-Baptiste is doing alright, so we'll start with him. And we'll bring him off for Spearling and Kirk, they'll be a bit tired still. He's being very slow today. Bigler's been doing alright as well. I do think we'll rotate him out now the other player's coming back. But Kalai's going to be a starter from now on. He's doing really well. Go on, go long. Just the opening highlight. Never mind. So yeah, I think we've got a natural endpoint coming up. Either we're going to qualify for the World Cup and we're going to go to the World Cup. We're not going to qualify for the World Cup in a shock kind of result. And if that's the case, then we'll probably see out the season and maybe do a bit of a summary. I'll probably fast forward into the future so you can see how things change. Oh Manuel. A little back heel. Oh, Kaiser. A tackle. Get in. Just get the ball off them. Stop this. I can go back to talking about... There we go. So I'm really looking forward to managing Tahiti Societies because they've got so many strong players. So they've got Johan Andre. Oh, Vigler, there we go. That was really poor keeping. Really shit reactions as well. Like, he just bounced off his foot or... But never mind. He was bad. He was bad no matter what. There we go. Vonic Vigler. Not bad for a kind of, I'm only really signing you because my players are complaining I don't have enough strikers. Yes, we've got Johan Andre, for example. Moses Dalwin used to play for us at the Humpbacks as well. A whole host of actually really good and strong players that work quite a bit. They've got Paul Pons, who I think might be close to retirement now. I'll be able to call up Yannick Janin and Semi Gerard. And they've both been neglected by the national team. Oh, good shot by Manuel. He's just drifted away there. So they've been neglected. They're getting called up. I don't even care if that's a really sentimental thing to do. They've got some of the best goal scoring on Kleist through. There we go. See, the problem I might have is Kleist starts really banging them in this season, and it's really enjoyable, and I just have to keep going on. Which I think is fine for me, obviously. I don't think many people want to watch just more FM19 once FM20's out, but I'll carry on. For me, if anyone else wants to see it through to the end, but yeah, Kalai is making it tempting to stay on a little bit longer. But yeah, we'll have such a strong squad with Tahiti that I think we're going to qualify for the World Cup, or at least get into the next set of qualifiers if there's another set of qualifiers. Oh, Vigler. Trying to make it difficult for me to rotate him out as it stands. With his brace by 30 minutes in. And to be honest, Tetero should be an easy team to beat because they've been sort of yo-yoing up and down between the Championship and the Premiership. But they did make that look very easy. So I think we'll beat Tuamotun in the actual kind of the final, especially over 2 legs. I can see them maybe shocking us in a match, but I can't see them beating us over 2 legs. We did play well against them with the Austral Islands, who were a much weaker squad than Tahiti, really. So I think we'll beat them, and then when we get to go to the World Cup, we can. That's going to sound kind of dull, but oops. Oh, you're good. Very happy. I was confused. Assistant? No. The assistant can save that. That's why you should pay attention before you click stuff. Yeah, because we'll be the really weak team if we do get to the World Cup. We can rely back on this kind of right of the week style of hoofball because people are going to be coming at us. I looked at that guy. I was scrolling up and down the kind of already qualified team so you could get an idea of who's there. I could see he's beating Haiti. That's it. Of the ones who are already qualified, everyone else will tear us apart. But I think we'll put a good showing in. We'll be able to, because we watched Tahiti Societies play in the last World Cup, and they were close to pulling off some kind of sort of semi-upset. So I think we might have a go at it as well. We'll be okay, I think. But yeah, I don't think we'll get out of the group or anything like that. But like it's a first. But I think we should go to the World Cup. It'll be fun. Get rid. Let's get some players on. Let's give them some match time. Let's get Lamb for Thomas. Twig on for Ben. And Hubert. Yeah. On the right, he's that kind of older, really sort of technical and mentally kind of gifted right winger. Oh, that was a good free kick. Can't really argue with that. In off the underside. I've forgotten to change the keeper though, haven't I? I'm going to have to do that at the end of this match. Got Holt playing. He's doing alright there. Ah, Sabua. Offside. Yeah. I don't think there was any point during that exchange where he was onside, really. Comebacks winning 3-0. Moria winning 2-0 with a brace from Janin. It's all going on in the league. Oh, I'm disappointed that that's offside because that was a nice little touch by Hubert as well. No, it's not actually a goal, but he was in the process of getting back onside, but still hadn't quite made it for his hat trick. I think that's us done. One last long ball. Oh, his hat trick. Not going to happen. Gave it a good effort there. Unless there's something going on here, but I don't think there is. I think this is the last. Hurrah from Teteroa. Because I obviously searched for a lot of things about French Polynesia and Tahiti and things like that, I keep getting these weird, like very targeted, specific ads about going on honeymoon to Tetaroa and staying at the Marlon Brando Hotel and that kind of stuff. The prices are insane. There you go, good win. See, no one's confused now. We're all on the same page with that. So there we go. Top with maximum points after our first 3 games. I might actually keep the team relatively stable because they're in a good groove. We'll keep that going. But schedule-wise, I think these 2 games here we won't be here for because we're going to go on to the Tahiti international games because we've got one on the 7th and then one on the 11th the week after. So we'll do those and then we'll go back to the league depending on what's happened. So the next episode is going to be this World Cup qualifying final. So hopefully I'll see you there for that. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you later.